Michael Olubusayo Oluwagbemi is a versatile all-round Nigerian from Ekiti State. At one time, he is a farmer.
Thank you, good to be here, man.
Another moment he's talking about tech, driving innovations and leading conversations on a new Nigeria, something he's very, very committed to.
He wears a lot of feathers on his cap. Sometimes he plays as a politician, some other times he's just a technocrat who is determined to see Nigeria become better. At some other points, he's an angel investor who seeks to invest in promising enterprises to get them to move from where they are to where he envisions that they ought to be. Please, if your hands are not busy, put them together as we receive on stage to give the welcome remarks, Engineer Michael Oluwagbemi.
His Owonikoko Ranch and Farms is a leading livestock breeding and fattening enterprise involved in upgrading and multiplying livestock breeds, herds, with local adaptability and improved quality and yield. Landing Abuja, after what was a very turbulent flight from Port Harcourt, I arrived this massive innovation site by night, no thanks to the grueling traffic on the Abuja Cafe Road.
Over there in front, you'll see some paddocks. And to the left, we have our recreation center, where we actually have our agro-tourism. It takes place in this area. You have your golfing, your driving range. We also have our petting zoo.
Driving range?
Yes,
wow.
A driving range. You have our petting zoo here, where we have different kind of animals for kids that just want to learn about farming and agro-tourism, generally speaking. And then we also have our pasture land thereafter. To the right, like I said, you have paddocks that I'll see is about can house up to 300 animals on rotational grazing. To the right of where we are now. Down this road, we have the proper livestock section. We have the fattening lairage, where we're going to visit any moment from now. We also have our grinding section, our processing section for the abattoir. We have our warehouse. All of it, we'll take you on a tour of the farm. We started working out here in 2017. And in 2017, that's when we got this first lot of 11 hectares that has now grown to 41 hectares. And Owonikoko is just one part of the assets within what we call the Vetmans Agri Partners family, but it's our flagship. It's the first, and we call it our pilot ranch. Yes, it's taken us approximately 5 years now. Since January of 2017, we started working out here.
Well, Mike, fantastic job you're doing here. I must congratulate you for this. But looking at everything that you've put together here, what inspired you? At what point did you feel you need to put up something like Owonikoko Ranch and Farms? What was your motivation towards putting this together?
The story was very simple. I was an oil pipeline man building pipelines in the United States. I was a project manager of Keystone Pipeline, and as a result of that, I had a lot of interaction with ranchers. Very quickly, I realized that having a country that has oil does not mean you have to abandon your agriculture.
Absolutely,
roots.
that's true.
I'm a grandson of a farmer. My grandfather raised 13 kids, sent them all to university on income from farming. But at the same time, while I was having this contact with farmers, Nigeria was seeing an increasing number of people dying as a result of herdsman-farmer clash. This was in the 2014, 2015, 2016 timeframe, if you remember that period. It's not as if it was new. It has always been in Nigeria. I always tell folks from the beginning of time, but because of increasing urbanization, the loss of pasture land to cities and all of this, we began to see more of those contact points between the farmers and the herdsmen. I felt that, given what I've seen, the model ranches I've seen around the United States, the ranchers I've talked to, I did my research, that this is possible in Nigeria. We can build something that we can be proud of, something that people can actually see and say, okay, let me try to replicate this. This essentially is what informed our work here at Owonikoko. That started in 2017. So we're about 5 years old now. In terms of, when we came here to this area, this area was a pure wilderness, as I said, and that's been a labor of pain and love at the same time, and the sweat and the sagacity of the team at Vetmans Agric Partners.
So now tell me, what does this bring on the board for agric in Nigeria, for protein in Nigeria, and of course, the pace that this sets because of hard recurring issues of herdsmen attack, and it's becoming very rampant across the country. And in a period of insecurity like we have now, what does Owonikoko Ranch and Farm bring on the table?
Owonikoko Ranch and Farm, we hope, is a pilot. It shows what is possible. It shows that you can have a place where both the herdsman and the farmers can peacefully coexist. That's one. Number two, it begins to build out the protein ecosystem. Because I always tell folks, just like petroleum, which most Nigerians may understand, there's upstream, there's downstream. In the livestock protein value chain, there's upstream, there's downstream. We sit in the midstream as a ranch, right? The upstream, hopefully, should be where we actually have the breeding, grazing reserves, where you actually have massive amount of pasture land, where animals can grow from birth to when maybe they are 2.5, 3 years. And from there, we can offtake as ranchers.
Absolutely.
We can have these kind of ranches across the country, where you are going to have integrated processing, where you are going to have feedlot feeding for finishing, to finish the animal. Because to be realistic, it's unrealistic to expect animals to grow on this ranch from 0 to 4, 5 years old, where they are consumed. They will become too expensive for people to consume, because our operation here is per day is expensive.
Yeah.
So what you need to have is on the upstream side, just like you have upstream petroleum, the guys that are breeding, the guys that are doing all of this stuff on grazing reserves, and ranchers like ourselves taking from them to finish the animals to sell into the downstream, where you have your processors and you have your supermarkets and your shops. This is an ideal ecosystem. But what had happened up to now is that everybody talks about it, but nobody has done it. So these are our fattening lots. It's separate from our paddock system. This system here is where we actually fatten the animals, and we have some bulls here right now that are undergoing fattening. As you can see, we have different type of bulls. These are the Adamawa Gudalis. We source these guys from Adamawa State, Taraba State. This is where you find these. Yes, that you see around. Yeah, so this is because they are eating this. So this manure you see here, we collect it and we sell it as well. So this is the grain they feed on. They've been eating all day. They have extra food, and the chickens coexist with them. Yes, they are coexist. Over there you can see those guys. They are both. You have the massive stud there. Yeah, that massive stud there is on an Imbala. But you will see the other shorter guys, including this little calf that was actually born on the farm here. They have a few female here. They're actually from Cameroon. These are.
Get that into Nigeria?
Yes, we literally walk them into Nigeria. In Gandore, yeah, we literally walk them into Nigeria.
With herdsmen?
Yes, we literally went to Cameroon to buy them and bring them into Nigeria. Okay. They are improved breeds. They are called Ngandore Gudalis, and they have quite an interesting attributes that we like, and I would like to sort of localize. So we are doing an experimental breeding with these guys because they are male and females. They have about two bulls here and about close to 12 heifers that are here inside this cage, including there will be 3 bulls because we have the kid, the calf, who is also a bull. Yeah.
But the next day, I was back again at the Owonikoko farms. This time, I managed to beat the traffic to catch the daylight innovation of Owonikoko Farms and Ranch.
I've been in the farm for 4 years now. I was here when we first got the first part of the land, which is roughly 14 hectares. Today it has expanded into a 42-hectare ranch with various sections. The section we're in now is the ranching part of the ranch. So it's a 40-hectare part where we grow where we breed animals, where we do our fattening processes, our food production, livestock processing, and also our recreational center, where we do most of the leisure activities are located: the golf course, the welcome center, and also the mini zoo. Our plan is to play across the value chain. So that starts from sourcing to production, processing, and retail. So our long-term plan is to replicate this model not only here in Uruguay but across Nigeria. We have started those plans by opening other parts, other ranches in Ado-Ekiti and in the Ikorodu in Lagos State. Of course, not to this scale, but we plan to expand it to reach the scale that we have here in Owonikoko. So basically, apart from ranching and livestock production, we are also into crop production, because we see it as an avenue to, apart from complementing the feed that we use to breed animals, it's also going to open new foray for us into the crop market. So in that end, we got a concession of 230 hectares in Lower Benue, Doma Dam, located in Doma local government of Nassarawa State, which is just some few hours away from the ranch. So that's why we grow most of our crops. Last year, we were able to grow on 86 hectares of the 230 hectares concession, and we plan to expand the operations beyond just the 86 hectares, but the entire 230 hectares. Outside the production of crops and breeding of livestock, we are also into farm implements. So we have engagement with the likes of Indorama and Dangote Fertilizer to be their distributors of their fertilizers. And it's a process that we started last year, and we're already yielding positive results from that engagement.